Well, Walter, thank you for joining me. You've got an absolutely massive fight coming up at Hexagone MMA in just a few weeks' time. But before we get into that, I want to look through your whole career. And originally, before moving to London, you grew up in Zimbabwe. So could you talk me through that?
Yes, I was born in Zimbabwe, Bulawayo, 18th of November 1987 to be precise. Moved over to the UK at 14 years old and attended school from there, and that was my life. The rest has just been, I don't say a blur, but it's been a roller coaster. Now I'm up for a world title, so yeah.
So, growing up in Zimbabwe, do you have any memories in particular that you think perhaps crafted you into the fighter you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got two older brothers, so we used to go out a lot and play and play. Football was a very popular sport out there, so it was always surrounded by sport, and that always inspired me to want to do something sport related. As far as fighting, fighting was something that kind of that I kind of came across with moving over here. But yeah, I've always been into sport. I like athletics. I used to sprint. I used to do 100-meter sprint, and play football, of course, as I said. So, and fighting was something that really translated well for both the sports, if you know what I mean. Like because the sprinting is this short twitch, and you have to really be explosive. And football was something that I really worked on my kicking techniques and my coordination and footwork. So it really built me up to start MMA.
So when you moved over here, you already obviously excelled in everything athletic, but did you struggle to adapt to lifestyle in the UK? Was it a difficult transition?
No, it was. I mean, there was a couple hurdles, of course. To start was the accent. I came from Zimbabwe and straight to Southend-on-Sea, so Essex, Southend-on-Sea. So like the dialect, the accent. I could speak English. I could write English very well, and up to this day, of course. But the line, the accent, yeah, like, that was probably the toughest thing, really. Other than that. Oh, and the weather. That's the first time I experienced snow was obviously over here, and yeah, like it wasn't. I managed to adapt. That's something that I do pretty well, um, and it translates well to MMA as well. Certain situations you just have to adapt, and that's what I did.
Obviously considerably colder over here, that goes without saying, but you mentioned that you utilised footballers to improve your kicking game. I imagine almost embodying the likes of Eric Cantona with his kung fu kick. But looking back now,
can't forget that one.
I know that was an incredible moment, up there with the greatest kicks in football history, but
yes.
almost up there with the sort of stuff we see in MMA. But
Yes.
when you started training, how did you adapt to that, and what was life like starting in MMA, which is essentially a new sport to you?
Oh, it was pretty rough. It showed me that it's not about the weight class. The weight is really nothing to do with combat. It's all about IQ and obviously technique. So the first time that I ever set foot into an MMA gym, I grappled with a 15-year-old. I was about 14 stone, should we say, 14 stone, pretty muscly. The young man was about 10, 11 stone, and I got put in a submission, and that was really a clear sign that I need to learn the art, and it just made me appreciate it. So I went back the next week, and the rest is just, as I said, it's led up to this world title, So
Yeah, I certainly feel your pain. My younger brother does jiu-jitsu and he's a black belt and he's several years younger than me, but he can still submit me and it's incredibly frustrating. It's a painful thing. It's not going to do.
you should put some gloves on then. Gloves
Oh,
and shin
absolutely.
guards. No
I think he
grappling.
beat me there as well. I keep
Oh,
trying my best, but he's getting the better of me at the moment. But you never know. Maybe in the
yeah,
future
well,
I'll.
maybe that's a sign saying maybe, get on the mats, and you learn so much about yourself. The sport has really taken me to different heights, and being in rooms with with some of the uh, best representatives in MMA. So yeah, maybe you should check it out. Try it
I've
out.
tried. I've done a
There
couple of
must be gyms close to you, of course.
Absolutely, yeah. I've done a couple of interclubs and it's enjoyable and all that sort of stuff. I just want to do it a little bit more. But you mentioned there that you've met some of the biggest names in MMA, and that's true because I saw on your Instagram that you met Georges St Pierre. And could you tell me
Yes.
what that experience was like?
It was so I went and experienced Canada. I've always wanted to train at a TriStar gym in Canada and work with, of course, Firas Zahabi, who's one of the best coaches in MMA. And Georges St Pierre just came and walked in, started working out like every single athlete that was on the mats, and got a chance to, have a conversation with him, and do the whole fanboy and take the picture and whatnot. And I look up to you, and 'cause he built a really solid foundation for MMA. So yeah, it was a great experience. Really humble guy. Yeah, and a real pure martial artist. So yeah, it was great.
I can imagine so. And looking at the early portion of your career, you did something that so few fighters do, and you built up a 16-0 record, which is almost unheard of in the game of mixed martial arts.
Mm. Yes, I was very hungry. I still am, of course. Still am, of course. I'm still very competitive, but I wanted to just keep competing. Competition is something that's really, really built in me, and I believe it should be in many people's, many people naturally. But competition is something that I do very well. And yeah, I've managed to build up this 16-0 record. Um, and you never learn from your wins. You learn more. You learn more from when things don't really go your way. So yeah, it was great. It was great to ride that 16-0 record till of course, there's always an athlete out there who's who's going to be working hard to try and take that away from me.
So from that point on, you end up fighting in Bellator. So can you talk me through your experience there, all the way to your most recent win in EMC 10?
Yes, so I had 5 fights for Bellator. I represented Bellator five times. It's a great experience. Major promotion, something I always envisioned myself, being being a part of. So yeah, I had a lot of experience at Bellator. Great experience, and some memories that money definitely can't buy. It gave me the IQ that I have now, and the experience that I had on EMC too was some great bouts. Tough, all tough individuals. I've gone up against, especially Bellator. That's the best. That's the best in the world. That's some of the best guys in the world. So yeah, I managed to build up a lot of experience there. A great experience too. So.
And after all this time, you're now going into what is probably the biggest fight of your career. There's a Hexagone MMA World Championship on the line. You're fighting internationally in France, and this is a massive moment in your career.
Mhm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, as far as massive, I think I've achieved some great things up to now. Um, when I reached, say for example, Bama. Bama was one of the best shows in the UK, if not one of, if not many favorite guys, favorite people's shows in the UK, and I got signed to that promotion. So then it went to Bellator, then and EMC, then now it's a world title on the line. So uh, these experiences aren't, they're not. I don't get flustered with them anymore, because I've been in it for a long time. I'm experienced enough, and had I not experienced those moments, I wouldn't be ready for. I don't say I wouldn't be ready, but I wouldn't be relishing this moment as much as it is a big deal, of course. But for me, it's just another another opponent, another warrior standing over the other side of the cage, and I'm gonna go in there and put him to the test, and certainly look to get him out of there and be crowned the new Hexagon World Champion.
The man you're fighting, Imagui, a fantastic fighter in his own right.
Hmm.
He's actually the champion in another weight division. Now you're taking
Hmm.
him on for a vacant world
Hmm.
title. What do you make of him from what you've seen?
Um, I don't tend to, that's my team's sort of, I would say responsibility. My team really takes that upon them to study and do a real, real study of what he's good at and what he's not really good at. But as far as my personal perspective and opinion of the guy, he's experienced. Um, he's an experienced guy. He's tough. He won't last in there with me. That's just how I envision it, and how I see it. My team at Great Britain top team. I've been there for the past coming up to a year and a half sort of now. So Great Britain top team, probably one of the best up and coming teams in the world. So coming to take over,
I
coming to take
imagine
over.
so. I can guess that you're predicting a knockout, but is there any particular method you see this going?
Um, a knockout would be great. I mean, I'm always expected to go out there and get TKO victory or knockout. Uh, I'm 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 open to all angles. A submission. If there's a submission there, I'll be all over that. But as you said, the belt starts standing up, and I'm probably one of the most dangerous men to be standing up on the feet with.
So throughout your entire career and your entire life, really, you've done so many amazing things, from coming over to Zimbabwe to starting martial arts to amassing this amazing 16-0 record. But now you've got a shot at becoming world champion. And is this a moment that could potentially define your career?
Um, yes, absolutely. I see myself as a champion, as a world champion. So the moment just hasn't come yet. Uh, it's about to, it's 3 weeks upon us, and we'll go in there and put on a performance, and and yeah, it's a pretty, I'd say it's a pretty defining moment for my career. After I went through a 4-fight skid, and the last one uh, got me back up in there, and finished a top tough opponent, and now I'm in for a world title shot. So it definitely really does feel like eyes are on me as attention myself, and otherwise I won't be getting an interview yourself, of course, right? so,
Absolutely.
so, so yeah,
So,
I would like to say that is a career defining moment for myself. And I'm gonna grab it by with everything. Prepared for been preparing for this moment for years, and yeah, it's certainly upon me.
well, I wish you all the luck in the world. I hope that
Thank
you
you.
put on a fantastic performance. I think I'm going to
Absolutely.
take your advice and do some more training because, I'm
Yeah.
sick of being beaten up by my younger brother. It's terribly embarrassing.
How old is he, if I may ask?
He's 20, I'm 24. So
Okay.
back in the day, he
Okay.
used to be a lot smaller and it used to be very easy for me. Now the pendulum has
Yeah,
completely swung in his
man.
favour.
Yeah, you need to get in the gym and let him know that big bro still rules the battlefield.
I'll tell you what I might do, Walter. I might organise a sparring session between you and him just so you can
Oh
put
yeah,
him in his
oh yeah.
place
I mean,
for me. That'd be
if you'd
appreciated.
like to, yeah, bring him down. I'm in South End, or I'm a GB top team. Bring him in, and we'll show him how it works.
Absolutely. You put him in
We'll
his
show,
place, Walter.
yeah, we'll show
But
him how it works.
absolutely. But thank you for joining me anyway. It's deeply
Hey,
appreciated. And
let,
before I let you go, is there anything that you'd like to add that I perhaps haven't asked you about?
um, no, really. Like, nah. Camp has been a solid camp, and I'll be ready to put on a go over to France and go and get that belt, bring it over here to the UK, and yeah, shine it. That's pretty much it there. So there's there's not a great deal what's this to to put a pinpoint on it. Like he's gonna be a masterful performance, and I'm gonna be walking out of there with that belt.